When I take a look at the price of Bitcoin and I see it's trading at over $100,000, I think that's crazy. I don't own any, that's crazy. And just looking at it over the past 10 years, over the past decade, Bitcoin has gained 31,000% over the past 10 years. And compare that to Nvidia, that's up 26,000%, Tesla, it's up 2,000%, Amazon, it's up 579%. It's safe to say that Bitcoin is one of, if not the best performing assets over the past decade. And if you haven't owned any, you still don't own any, you're asking yourself, just like I'm asking myself, is Bitcoin going to continue to go up? Are we going to see another 30,000% rally? I don't know. I mean, nobody knows. And if you have FOMO, it's totally understandable. To tell you the truth, I owned 3 Bitcoins in 2016. I got them each for $700 a piece, and I used them to buy something on the dark web, to buy some things on the dark web that I probably shouldn't mention and I probably shouldn't have bought. So if you feel like you missed out, I really feel like I missed out. If you feel like you're stupid because you didn't buy any, I am stupid because I owned it and then I wasted it on some stupid stuff on the dark web. But I have to ask myself, should I get Bitcoin again? Should I buy it now? And I've ultimately come to the decision, no, I'm just not buying it. Every single time I want to buy it, it's trading at a high price, like right now at over $100,000. And then I'm like, that seems really high. And then whenever the market crashes and it's down 40%, then I'm like, oh my gosh, the bubble bursted. I'm scared to buy it. I'm not going to buy it here. And then it rebounds and the cycle continues. So ultimately though, I've just decided I'm not going to buy it. I don't understand Bitcoin. I don't get it. And that's why I'm not going to buy it. Every time I go online, I go to YouTube, go to the internet, and I see all these people talking about Bitcoin. You can say I feel less than enlightened when I walk away from those, and they all have the same reasons for why Bitcoin is going to go up. It's always it protects against inflation, it's digital gold, it's the future of money, it's the technology, it's decentralized. Those are the 5 reasons they always say that like Bitcoin is the future and why we all need to buy Bitcoin right now. But it ultimately just feels like a bunch of hype, and I can't get behind it. But that doesn't mean that it's not real. Like, it's up 33,000% in 10 years. That's real gains. That's real wealth created by people who bought into it. Unfortunately though, I'm just not that person who's bought into it, nor will I. So in this video, I'm not gonna hype up Bitcoin. I'm not gonna talk it down either. I'm just gonna explain why I don't own Bitcoin and why I'm not going to buy Bitcoin. And then I'm also going to explain why I don't feel like I'm missing out on Bitcoin, because I don't feel like I'm missing out at all. I'm completely content with my decision of not owning it. So before I get started, I just want to say thank you for being here. I'm Jacob. I'm 28 years old. I'm debt-free. I'm on a war path to get to $1 million by the time I'm 32. Currently at $690,000. So if you're into investing, personal finance, saving, budgeting, stuff like that, be sure to subscribe to this channel and just give me a like because, well, you're going to like this video. So how have I come to my decision? It's really simple. I just don't understand Bitcoin. Charlie Munger has this great quote that we should all do a few good things and not worry about every other damn thing in the world. And that's just how I feel about Bitcoin. I'm tired of trying to keep up with it, trying to understand it, and stay on top of not just Bitcoin, but cryptocurrency in general. So I want to break down the 5 main use cases as to why people say Bitcoin is the future and why we need to be invest into it, you know, all the Bitcoin enthusiasts, and then kind of like poke my own holes in there as to why I think they're great in theory, but they just don't make sense to me and why I can't get behind it. So number 1 is it protects against inflation. And this is one of those that is really true. Bitcoin has protected against inflation. It's been the greatest inflation hedge to exist. I mean, you can't not protect it against inflation if you're the best performing asset over the past decade. But it's not the only thing that protects against inflation. If we look at the past 10 years and we look at other assets like the NASDAQ 100, gold, S&P 500, and real estate, well, the NASDAQ's up 413% over the past 10 years. Gold's up 216%. The S&P's up 211%. And real estate's up 166%. So all of these assets have also been protecting against inflation, albeit they haven't performed as well in terms of assets against Bitcoin, but that's kind of a different discussion, right? It's not like investors haven't been protected against inflation in the past. We have lots of tools to protect us against inflation. Even government bonds protect us against inflation. So while Bitcoin does protect against inflation, it's not our only option. We've had options for hundreds of years to protect ourselves as investors against inflation. Now, it is a better performing asset. There's no denying that. But it's not the only thing out there that protects us against inflation. Now, number two is it's digital gold, which I understand this idea of gold and Bitcoin being like gold. Like gold, Bitcoin, there's a finite amount. There's a finite amount of gold out there in the world, which makes the supply low, and then the demand's high. People want to own gold. They make wedding bands out of it. They make jewelry out of it. Like, have you ever seen a 24 karat gold, big old thick gold necklace? That shit sparkles. It's beautiful. It's nice. Or whenever you get your wife a white gold wedding band with diamonds all encrusted in there, that's beautiful. And I get why there's demand for it. And of course, there's a low supply, which drives the price of gold up per ounce. And like Bitcoin, Bitcoin, like gold, there's 21 million Bitcoins in total to be mined and in circulation. So whenever there's a finite amount of Bitcoin and there's a high demand for it, it drives the price of Bitcoin up. But what I don't understand is like, it's just not real. And this is one of the hard things that maybe I'm just stupid, I don't get it. But like with gold, and I see that sparkly necklace on someone's neck, or I see that nice Rolex on their wrist, that stuff looks nice. It represents wealth, it represents luxury, it looks beautiful. If you're wearing it, you feel good about yourself. If you see it, you want it. And with Bitcoin, I don't know what kids are doing these days. Do they like go to a bar and like, hey, look at my Bitcoin wallet, I got 0.03 Bitcoins. Everyone's like, oh my God, that's awesome. I don't know. Like, I mean, it doesn't make sense to me. It's not tangible like gold is. It doesn't represent anything. I don't get it. Number three is it's the future of money. I get this idea and it sounds cool, but I think this is one of the most fundamental differences in where I just don't believe in this future of money being Bitcoin versus US dollars or any currency-backed dollar. And Bitcoin enthusiasts will say things like that the dollar got off the gold standard, the US got off the gold standard, and you can't trust the government, and the fiat, the dollar, just doesn't have any real value to it because it's not backed by anything. It's just pieces of paper, which this is where I fundamentally disagree. And I say, no, the dollar's not backed by gold, but it's backed by something bigger. It's this idea of America. Kind of like Bitcoin's backed by this bigger idea of decentralization and this future promise of being more valuable than what it is in terms of actual utility and use case. I think that the dollar is backed by trillions of dollars or trillions worth of American infrastructure. We think in New York City, think about Los Angeles, Miami, San Francisco, Chicago, all of our roads, bridges, buildings, everything, that's real infrastructure. That's where people want to be. The US is the mecca of the economy of the world. I mean, just the US alone, millions of people make up 25% of the global economy. We have millions of people going to work every single day being innovative. They are working to build more wealth. They are working to deliver technology to make the world a better place, a more progressive place. And then we are the mecca of financial markets, and people want to be in our financial markets so they can get money to build businesses and deliver better products to the world and build wealth for themselves. So I think like that's what backs the dollar, and that's what keeps the dollar strong. Plus the world's strongest military ever known in existence is the US military. It's the most well-funded, it's the most technologically advanced. I think that backs the dollar too. So it's this idea of the America itself backs the dollar. And I believe in that. Not everyone believes in that, but that's what I believe backs the dollar. And that's why I can't get behind Bitcoin being the future of money, because everything I just mentioned, I think backs the dollar, and that's what keeps the dollar strong. And number four is the technology, and you can send money across borders without banks. You don't need the banker's hand in your pocket and stuff. And this has been an idea since like 2010. Whenever I first bought my own Bitcoins in 2016, and I thought this is so cool. I can secretly move money and buy some stuff I shouldn't be buying and nobody knows about it. I thought this was cool, but it was incredibly inconvenient to actually transfer money with Bitcoin, and it still is. One, there's the volatility. That Bitcoin goes up and down, and now Bitcoin is classified as an asset, not a currency. So if Bitcoin goes up, if you buy it to transfer money and then it goes up, you now owe capital gains on that money. You need to legally required to file capital gains, report that income or that gain, and then pay taxes on it. That's really inconvenient whenever all you're trying to do is just send some money to somebody or yourself in another country. Or likewise, the market's volatile, so if it goes down, you just lost money when all you were trying to do was transfer money. That's all you wanted to do. So it just turned a really simple process into a really complicated process. And that's all because of the classification of what Bitcoin is now. It's an asset, not a currency. So I don't think that this is going to get any easier over time. If anything, I think it's going to get more difficult over time. Another thing is it's just not even easy to send money with Bitcoin. It takes longer to send money with Bitcoin than it does using Western Union, Venmo, or PayPal. Is that going to get faster? I don't know, but at least right now it's not any better. And those other platforms seem to only get better. It's also more expensive to send money with Bitcoin than it is sending it with Venmo or PayPal or Western Union. So it's just easier to use them. Like I can walk into a Western Union location, just give them cash and they send the money for me. I think that's easier than trying to open up a wallet, get their number, hope I send it to the right wallet address. I think it's kind of complex, really. And then the technology of just transacting with Bitcoin. One, no one's really transacting with Bitcoin. I know some places, 1 in 100 or 1,000 places accept Bitcoin. Okay, I get it. Some people do. But by and large, everyone accepts a credit card, right? And whenever you try to transact with Bitcoin, the technology right now only allows for 7 transactions per second. Visa can do 24,000 transactions per second, and it's cheaper to use Visa than it is Bitcoin. So will that ever cross? Like, will Bitcoin get better than Visa or MasterCard or American Express? They have a lot of catching up to do. And the thing is it's not like the big private companies like Visa just stay stagnant. They get better over time too. As technology progresses, they progress their networks and they also get better. They scale faster and they get cheaper. So for me, it's hard to imagine that Bitcoin will catch up and surpass the companies that already exist. It could happen, but where it's at today, they're not even close. Now, the last thing is it's decentralized and can't be controlled. And this was like the premise of Bitcoin. This was numero uno, right? This is why everyone got into cryptocurrency, was because of the GFC. They had lost faith in the government worldwide, and they didn't want to be associated with fiat currency. But in theory, yeah, it's cool. In practice, it is not playing out that way at all. We're actually seeing more and more and more consolidated centralization in Bitcoin. So we have the White House, and now they're talking about a crypto reserve fund. That's about as central as it gets. We have the SEC regulating companies like Coinbase, where everyone stores their Bitcoin. Now you have to call your Bitcoin an asset and pay capital gains on it, taxes on it. That's pretty centralized, right? Blackstone, Fidelity offering it to rich American and first world investors. These are the people that are now buying up Bitcoin and ETFs. It doesn't get more centralized than that. And the irony behind all this is whenever you think about Blackstone and Fidelity and people like Michael Saylor hoarding all this Bitcoin, this is the powers of the world getting all the Bitcoin, hoarding it to themselves. And in some ways, it's even less equal or less fair than fiat currency is, because the people that need Bitcoin most are the people that have the least amount of access to it. Whenever I see the Haitian immigrants or the Ghana immigrants, you know, all those folks in Somalia, Sudan, and you see them on their boats trying to go to better countries, get better lives for themselves, the last thing I think those folks have access to is Bitcoin, nor do I even think they care about Bitcoin in that moment. They're trying to survive, not thrive. So it's kind of ironic that the people who need the Bitcoin the most in the world have the least amount of access to it, and the people who need it the least are hoarding the most of it. And I think it's only going to get worse, because at least with dollars or fiat currency, there's inflation. So if people try to hoard dollars, inflation eats into the dollars they're hoarding. With Bitcoin, if the demand goes higher, there's no more Bitcoin. It's a limited supply. So the people that need the Bitcoin the most are going to have less and less and less access to it over time. So it's a noble cause. It's this noble, great idea that's not playing out in practice at all. It's just like a cool, awesome theory that's not playing out. More banks are getting it, more rich people are getting it, less people that need it are getting it. So to me, it doesn't make any sense. Ultimately though, here's where I just can't get behind Bitcoin, and it doesn't make any sense to me, is that 99% of people, I mean, there's some people who just love Bitcoin, but 99% of people that are buying Bitcoin right now are hoping to just sell it for a higher price in the future so they can get what? Dollars. Yeah, dollars. That's all they want. Just people want more dollars. So they sit here and tell you, oh, the US government sucks, the dollar sucks, fiat's awful, I'm buying Bitcoin so I can earn more dollars. It doesn't make any sense. So they don't really believe in any of this at all. Like, they don't actually use any of this Bitcoin use case at all. They just want more dollars. They want to buy a Bitcoin for 100,000 so they can sell it for $1 million to get $1 million. So I don't get it. To me, I just don't get it. And that's why I can't buy it. So maybe it's right for you. Maybe everything I say here makes me sound like a fool. Maybe you get it. I just don't get it, and I don't think it's right for me because I don't understand it. And here's how I'm dealing with my FOMO. This is why I don't feel like I'm missing out. Just because Bitcoin isn't right for me doesn't mean I'm missing out. Just because I'm not buying it doesn't mean I'm missing out. I'm just investing my money somewhere else. And like I mentioned, there's the NASDAQ 100, there's the S&P 500, there's real estate, there's gold, there's government bonds. There are other assets out there for me to put my money into. And if I look at my stock portfolio from January 1st to now, over the past 4.5 years, I put in $471,000 and I'm up $212,000 in just gains. So I'm pacing at 45%, 10% a year. That's what the stock market returns on average. And whenever I look at a compound interest calculator, if I plug in how much money I have right now, $690,000, I put that in, length of time, 30 years, I don't even add a single dollar more, and I just keep getting 10% like I have. My money I have today is going to compound to be over $12 million by the time I'm 58. That puts me in the top 1.1% of people in the world. Look, I could invest in Bitcoin and maybe get more money, but I'm just not comfortable with it. And ultimately, I'm not investing to get the most money I possibly can on earth and outpace other investors. I'm building wealth for me and my family. That's all I care about. And if I can get $12 million over the next 30 years, feeling good about the investments that I invest in, I'm okay with that. I'm outpacing inflation. I'm building real wealth. I'm building a comfortable life for myself. I'm building a life of financial freedom. That's all I care about. I don't care about getting the most money. I don't care about being the richest. I don't care about doing better than my neighbor. I care about doing good for me and my family. And whenever I invest in things like the stock market or real estate, maybe get a house for myself, I feel good about that. I don't feel good about buying Bitcoin, and that's why it's not right for me. So maybe it's right for you. I don't know. You'll have to make that decision for yourself. I'm just explaining why I don't think Bitcoin is right for me, why I don't get it, and why I never will. So if you like this video, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. I'll be back with more content.